Alright guys, like the last video, we are going to be doing a Milsim training video. These are for training purposes only. These are for any Milsim to use if they feel the necessity to use so, to teach and train their own guys how to be better. So let's get into this. Alright, so today we're going to be covering 3D callouts. 3D callouts are a direction, a description, and a distance between squad mates or fire teammates. This is used in order to make a callout so that way the rest of your team knows what you're talking about instead of saying over there, because that doesn't mean anything. So today I'm alone, so we're going to be using my MAV here to assist. As you can see here on the big map, my MAV is located to what people would normally say would be northeast. That is not a great callout because that is a larger radius than that of using an o'clock system when you're using north, south, east, and west. Because when you use even northeast and all that, it splits it up into sections of 8, which is going to be, those are sections of 45-degree angles on a 360-degree calendar, or a 360-degree table. If you're using north, south, east, and west, that makes your zone of viewing a 45-degree angle for each callout in between, where if you're using an o'clock where there's 12, it turns that 45 into 30, so it narrows the vision of possibility of where the hostile can be. So it makes it easier to call out a target and more specify exactly where he's at. So like I said, we're going to be using my MAV today, so the first example here is going to be, well actually let me describe to you how we do 3D callouts. So a 3D callout, we fix 12 o'clock to north. So on your big map here, which I have pulled up, the top of the map is north, the bottom of the map is south, and you should know the rest. We fix the top of the map as being 12. This is because of the fact that since there isn't proxy chat, we don't know necessarily where our squad mates are facing at all times, and with the Battlefield it's very hectic, and it's a lot more high-paced than what you would assume. It's not like a game like Ghost Recon where you're going to be tending to be moving in the same direction. You have a compass above you at all times. So for simplicity's sake, we're going to fix 12 o'clock to north, 6 o'clock to south, 3 o'clock would be east, 9 o'clock is west. So those 4 lines in your map that show off your person's star, or the star because I'm the squad lead, are those 12, 6, 3, and 9. So my MAV right there, as you can tell, he's around the 1 o'clock spot. He's closer to the upper line than he is to the line to my right, which means he's closer to 12 instead of 3, which means he must be at 1, not 2. So with that, we're going to go to use a 3D callout. Like I said earlier, it's a direction, a description, and a distance. It does matter that it's in that order, and I will describe that here in a second, or explain that why. So my MAV is 12 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 1 o'clock on top of a rock on the hillside, 90 meters away. So if you're wondering how I'm doing the meters, I'm kind of more just guessing. You get used to it. You just kind of figure out how far everything is. There's not like a trick to help you specify how far something is. You just kind of got to know it. So I'm at Forward Observer class right now, so I have my PLD so I can verify the distance. So he's 73 meters away. So he's actually closer than what I thought. So I was a little off on my distancing, but I wasn't terrible. The way that I've traditionally trained my guys is if it's from 0 to 40 meters, you got to be within 5 meters. If it's from 0 to 80, or my bad, 40 to 80, you have to be within 10 meters. And if it's 80 plus, you have to be within 20 meters. Well, 80 to 100 is kind of like 20, and then anything really far past 150, it kind of gets a little more loose with our interpretation of the rule. So right there, I would have gotten the distancing wrong, so that would be incorrect. Something we like to do is we like to put a point value system in. So each callout you give is worth a set value of points. You have 6 callouts, you have to get 3 points to pass. 3 correct in a row is a full point. If you get one partially correct, like what I just did where I screwed up the distance, you get half a point. So right now I'm at half a point. So I'm going to move my map to a new location and do it again. Alright guys, something I didn't specify earlier is generally when you're making callouts, use increments of 5 in the meterage. So say 5, 10, 15, 20. Don't say like, oh, he's 93 meters away. No, say he's 90 meters or 95. So as you can see now, my MAV is directly to my left over here on my left line, which means he's at my 9 o'clock. So let's go over that now. So my MAV here is 9 o'clock in the middle of the MSR. The MSR is a main supply route or road. On this map specifically, they're all paved roads. You can see that on the big map. An example of an ASR would be this little dirt road over here. So back to the call out. He's 9 o'clock on the MSR. I'm going to go with 40 meters away. He's 47, so I'm technically within the tolerance. I said 40 plus, you have to be within 10, so I am in with 10, so I would get a full point for that. So I'm at 1.5 points out of my 2 attempts so far. I get 6 in total, and I only need 3 to pass. So let's move to the next one. Alright guys, so another tip to remember when doing 3D callouts is objects that have elevation are technically further away than the horizontal plane of which you view them on. So as you can see here, my MAV is closer to my vertical line than it is to the one to my left. the horizontal one to my left, so therefore it's probably 11 o'clock. This is not 10 o'clock, so he's 11 o'clock. So my MAV is 11 o'clock on top of the two-story building at Alpha, and I'm going to go with 50 meters away, 40 meters away. So let's PLD this. 50, I was right the first time. I second guessed myself, 51. So that would be kind of up to the instructor's discretion whether or not to give you credit for that. I'm going to not credit myself fully on that. I'm going to give myself a half point, so I'm at 2 points in total. Unfortunately, I am a little rusty with 3D callouts. It's been a while since I've done these. I've been out of the video making and the Milsim game for the past couple of weeks here, so I've had some unfortunate not been up to date in practicing on my distancing callouts. So let's move the MAV and get into another one. Alright guys, here as you can see my MAV, he's not on the MSR, he's off to the side of it, so we're going to represent how to make that call here in a second. As you can see by pulling up my big map, my MAV is directly to my 6 o'clock. It's pretty much in line with the line that goes directly to the south, so he's 6 o'clock of me. So when making this call out, I'm going to say 6 o'clock to the left of the MSR, between the river and the MSR. I'm going to go with 55 meters away. He's at 58, so that's a good call out. So right now that puts me at 3 points. So it took me a total of 4 attempts to get 3 points. I've now passed the basic part of 3D callouts. You need, like I said, you have 6 attempts. You must get 3 points in total, and I have done that now. So we're going to move into the second part of 3D callouts, which is how to do squad callouts. A squad callout is different than a 3D callout because a 3D callout, you're making a callout between you and other members in your fire team. A squad callout is a callout between your fire team and another fire team. So we're going to get into how to do that now. Alright guys, we're back here. So we're going to go over how to do squad callouts now. I'm pulling up my big map. You see my map over there. It's 12 o'clock of Charlie. And in relation to me, it is 4 o'clock of me, or 3 o'clock. You could say 3 o'clock. It's still rather close to that white line because it's so far away. So the way you wouldn't want to do a call out was going to be based off of your position. Off of my position, that MAV is 3 o'clock on an ASR on the hillside above Charlie, let's say 200 meters away. Now great, that's a decent call out from your position to the rest of your fire team. Now if you need to do that to the other fire team that makes up your squad, because 2 fire teams make up a squad, that would be a terrible call out because now they have to figure out who made that call out. So let's say I'm the squad leader. I have to say, hey, the squad leader made this call out. You guys have to then locate my position and then triangulate that position based off of me instead of based off of their squad's position. Or my bad, their fire team's position. So we're going to assume that their fire team is sitting in Charlie in this exercise. So instead of me saying, oh, it's 4 o'clock of my position, whatever, when I'm talking to my other fire team through an external comms chat, like Zillow or Discord, I'm going to say, there's guys on the ridge line at 12 o'clock of Charlie, 50 meters out. That's where my map is located in relation to Charlie. That's how you make a squad call out. Let's say even if the fire team that's supposed to be at Charlie isn't at Charlie, and they're at point C2 on this big map, which is, what is that? That is 8 o'clock of Charlie right now. There's 7 o'clock of Charlie, that's C2 grid point, next to the MSR that's to the, I'm going to say southwest now of Charlie. Let's say they're over there. The call out's still the same. The enemy contact is still 12 o'clock of Charlie on the ridge line, 50 meters out. So that's how you would make a call out like that. So that way it's based off of a geographic indicator like the center flag poles on each objective, instead of making it based off of a person's position, because that takes a lot more time to locate, especially when you have 32 guys on both teams. It's very difficult to make a call out if it isn't based off of geographic location. So we're going to move the MAV and do another example. Alright, so we're here for another example of a squad call out. So my squad is here located 5 o'clock of Alpha. We're going to pretend there's another squad on Bravo right now. They've just captured Bravo, and my fire team is 5 o'clock of Alpha over here on this MSR. We're going to assume that there's another fire team up at Bravo currently, so we're going to make a squad call out for them. So because they're part of our squad, even though they're part of our squad and we should be located relatively close to them, we can't necessarily require them to know where everyone in our squad's at the same time. So, or our fire team's at the same time. So even though this is so close to us still, there's 2 ways you can make this call. You can either say that there is a hostile force 9 o'clock of Bravo in the ridge line, 100 meters out, or you could say there's hostiles are 12 o'clock of Alpha on top of the ridge line, 50 meters out. Personally, I like the Alpha call out better. It's a little closer. Your distance is probably going to be a little bit more accurate, and you can visually see it from the person that's making the call, like me right here. I'm making this call out. I can see this ridge line right here. So when you're making squad calls, by the way, I didn't specify this earlier. When we were showing an example with the elevation, it changes your distancing. Here, we're going to do a little different. So this elevation up there, which is 180, I'm actually going to base off of me to the ridgeline right now, which is 111, but I am 78 from there, which means, doing some quick math and stuff, you're roughly 50 meters away from the center of alpha objective to the top of that ridgeline. Now, I know that's not exactly correct, and it's kind of more of a ambiguous number, but it's good enough to explain where it's located. So remember, when you're doing squad callouts, it's a horizontal plane you're making the callout on, not one that's dynamic and takes into account a 3D world. You're going to be looking at a 2D world. So hope that was informative for everyone. Hope everyone learned how to do callouts that can help better them and implement to their trainings and their milsims to help their milsims get better. Again, we're here to be a community for everyone. So if you have any questions or any additional videos you'd like me to make, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to be making one on our AIT that we used to do, responding to fire, something like that, and other like certifications for sniper, forward observer, LMG gunners, engineers, all those things. Just understanding weapon systems and ways to better implement trainings into other milsims so we can all learn and grow together. So guys, I'll catch you next time. Like I said, put us any more video suggestions in the comments down below. And if you need anything, my gamer tag is the same as my YouTube. Just message me on there and I'll be sure to reply. Thank you.